Friday afternoon, everyone. This is Joe Dillon at the Columbus Police Department, and with us this afternoon is Chief Johnson from Columbus Municipal School District and Chief Brown. I'm sorry, you're from the Columbus Police Department and Chief Brown from the Columbus Municipal School District, and they're going to tell us a little bit about the incident that occurred yesterday afternoon at Columbus High School. What can y'all tell us about it?
Okay, good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us this afternoon. If you know some other parents and friends, just tag them and let them tune in. We just want to share some information, some areas of concerns concerning the false call that came in through 911 yesterday that there was an active shooter situation going on at Columbus High School. Of course, I want to say I know that parents and all of us are concerned about the safety and well-being of our children. You know, myself, I have grandchildren, family that works in the school district. So we all are concerned about that. So from the police standpoint, when we get those kind of calls in 911 dispatcher, we're going to respond in full force. We're coming out because we're concerned about the safety. We're going to respond in full force along with other local law enforcement officers, the sheriff department, they came in full force because our main concern is in making sure that our kids are safe. So we're going to respond. Also, we coordinate well with our city school district police department and Chief Brown. They let us know what's going on. But this particular call came in through 911. It didn't come in through the school. So we responded off of a 911 call. So as far as we know, we was responding for a real active shooter until we got there and was able to make contact with Chief Brown and confirm that it wasn't actually an active shooter call. But of course, you know, by that time, phone calls had been made, children had been made phone calls, parents had been called, you know, so people throughout the community was under the notion that it was a real actual active shooter. So once we got there and we confirmed that it wasn't an active shooter situation, then you know, we dealt with the parents because a lot of parents had started coming around and gathering kind of see what was going on. And that's what we really want to address, some concern. There's some things going on. This is something that's called swatting. That's what it's been called. That's been going on throughout our country. Of course, I think South Haven had one that day, and there might have been some other school district in Mississippi that had some of these calls that particular day. But this has been going on throughout our country, so evident that the FBI is getting involved in this thing so that we can try to find out where it's coming from. And now, as of this point, we're trying to ascertain whether it's coming locally, whether it's domestic, or even whether it's coming from some foreign country that these calls are being made to. So that's why the FBI is being involved. But one of my main areas of concern is that we're going to get there, we're going to assure that the kids are safe, and once we make sure that they're safe, then we have the issues of dealing with the parents, you know, that's out there, that's coming, trying to get their kids, you know, and that's an area of concern also. What we want to do is just really share with the parents that we need the parents' help and calming the situation down and getting our kids calmed down so that the school district and Chief Brown them can do what they need to do to make sure that, you know, that the school work settle back into normalcy, that the kids are able to settle back. Now, of course, we know parents are there to get their kids out and want them checked out then, but there's a process that have to go through. So I really want to bring this press conference to elicit your help as parents, your help. We know that you want your kids safe. We know that you're concerned about the safety of your kids, as all of us are. But once we determine that everything is okay, that everything is safe, we need the parents to help us settle things down. The parents to get settled down, allow our kids to get settled down so that they can get back to their school day, schoolwork. Now, of course, if parents want to check their kids out, I'm quite sure after things settle down, the school district will do what they need to do to make sure that it's done according to the process that the school district has that allow you to check your kids out. But we want everything to be safe for everyone, and we want our kids to be safe, and we want, you know, our parents to be safe as we're getting your kids to you and getting them out there. So sometimes you have to have some patience with us because it takes us a minute. You know, the school district police, and along with we're going to make sure we sweep the building, make sure that everything is safe and everybody is safe and okay. because you got to understand that just even these fake calls can cause a lot of trauma. I think even with the school district, I heard about even there was a teacher, that fainted, that fell out because of all this that was going on. This brings on a lot of stress with everybody, so we have to make sure that we're getting everything calmed down. But rest assured that our main purpose is going to be the safety of our kids. If we get these calls, we're going to respond. Whether we think or believe this fake or not, we're going to respond and make sure our kids and our school district is safe. And if you have any questions, parents, you could always feel free to contact me here at the police department if we need to come to our communities and talk to you more about these events that's going on so that you can get more information. But we do need your help, parents, to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do so that we can, because you got to understand that the people that are making these calls, that's their main purpose. They want to cause confusion. We don't know the particular motive, whether they're trying to draw out law enforcement, whether they're trying to cause disruption in the school. We don't even really know exactly what the cause, but it's causing both of those things. It's causing disruptors in the school. It's drawing law enforcement out. But the fact of the matter is, our main priority is always going to be the safety of our children and the safety of all those that are at the school district when we receive these calls. Thank you.
Chief Brown, tell us a little bit about after something like that happens. You go back to class. I mean, what do you do? Tell us about so parents can better understand.
So accountability is a big thing. School has to account for each student that is in that building along with the staff. So when a crisis or such as the calls that we received on Friday disrupt our normal day-to-day instructional time, we have to account for those students and ensure that they're safe. So that's why having support from the parents, them understanding like, okay, we understand and we have empathy for you, that you want to make sure that your kids are safe. But you're coming and you may be blocking the pathway for other first responders to come in just by your mere presence in cars. So just follow the instructions that we're giving you from the district. The district is going to send out blasts, going to update you as much as they can, and to just follow instructions from those officers that are outside. So we have your children's best interests at heart, but we have procedures that we have to follow as well. And so if you want to check your students out, the school will allow you to check them out once they finish accounting for those students.
But you tell me about yesterday. Did you go ahead and have classes and finish the
Yes,
day?
we did. We had normal class. Our students and staff are trained, so they know what they're supposed to do in the event of an emergency or things like that. We train with our students and staff all the time. We also train with our local police department and other first responders as well in the event of an actual crisis, that everyone understand and know their roles.
And talk a little bit about the support, Chief, that you got, Chief Brown, from what I went out there and there were a lot of agencies there. So.
Yes, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Anytime a threat is received like that, as Chief Johnson has stated before, we take it as being real and serious. So we're going to get that extra support from law enforcement so we can jump on it rapidly and have an effective end to it. So our job is to make sure that if there is a threat, that we find a threat and that we deal with that threat, and to ensure that our students and our staff are safe.
And Chief Johnson, talk about a little bit, and then I'll turn it over to everybody else. This is a pretty serious thing.
It's very serious. It's very serious because just of the nature, we've kind of progressed from the bomb threat to the active shooter's threat, but a lot of these active shooter calls, they're calling in and saying that there's, children that's being shot, and this incident. So we know, how parents are responding, reacting off of that, when they hear that kind of news. So it's serious. It takes, it kind of to a different level as parental concern. So parents naturally, by nature, are concerned about their kids. So they want to come to them and come to their rescue, even though a lot of times that can cause, a little disturbance in how law enforcement need to deal with the situation when we have a load of parents coming out there. So that's why we want to elicit parents' help in making sure that we, are able to handle this in the proper way and respond as quickly as we can without the disturbance and the distraction around. And like I said, once we ascertain that it's false, and that it's not going on, then we really need the parents' help in making sure things are calmed down so that we can do our job as police officers, so that the district can do their job as it pertains to making sure the kids are safe, or whether they release them to parents or not. But we just need some calmness when it gets to the point that where we know that it's not real.
So walk me through the steps as a parent that you would like for me to do if something like this were to happen again.
Try to remain calm and to listen and to follow the instructions of those that are in charge, whether it be local law enforcement or school staff. So we're trying to have a staging area for parents to go, and they can wait and they get information. And when it is feasible for their students to be reunited with them, they can check their children out. So it's part of our crisis management plan and reunification. It's all a process, and like I said, we understand that these parents are concerned, but we just need them to remain calm and to trust us. Just building that trust and understanding, having confidence in us that we're doing everything we can to make sure that their students are safe and that they are reunited with them.
Chief Johnson,
yes.
I have several questions.
Okay.
I'll start here. What time did the call come into 911, and what was the general content? What was the content of that call? What was claimed exactly?
Well, I want to say it was about 11, a little bit after 11, and I particularly have not listened to the call as of yet, but I think Chief Brown has listened to the call.
Yes.
And heard what the content. You can explain that?
Well, 911 received a phone call. It appears that the caller stated that there was an active shooter at Columbus High and gave a number of students that were supposed to have been shot. I want to say the call also gave a description of the alleged shooter and type of weapon that was possibly being used in the attack. So we were on campus and just had finished conducting walkthroughs. We're doing patrolling of the exterior of the campus, just going through our day-to-day activity. So we knew that there was not an actual threat on campus. And having that real communication with 911 and being able to communicate with the police department, we were able to put them at ease for them responding as well, that there was not an actual threat on campus.
Okay, and obviously y'all were there, the PD, the sheriff's office.
Yes.
Were there any other agencies that responded?
Not that I'm aware of. As far as those were the local agencies that initially responded.
Okay, and you talked a while ago about the general expectation. Y'all set up a staging area for the parents, and
Yes.
that's kind of what you want to happen. What happened yesterday? What did the parents do, and roughly how many showed up, and what kind of an impact did that have specifically?
Probably had approximately anywhere between maybe 80 to maybe 100 parents that showed up. So nowadays we have all kinds of forms of technology. We have cell phones. So the students are taking directives from us and from school staff on what they're supposed to do. And they're getting directives from their parents. So, we having parents telling students to walk out and all of this.
And it's conflicting.
And it's conflicting. And we just want to, get on the same page and have open lines of communication, that in the event that something happens, that everyone understand what their role and the reason why that we're doing what we're doing.
Well, I mean, did you have parents trying to get into the school, or
No, just calling their students and like, hey, I'm outside, come outside. And the students like, hey, I cannot leave, we have to check out and all of that. So, just going and talking to the parents and explaining to them a lot of time can put them at ease. And so that was one of our main goals on yesterday, going out and talking with the parents and reassuring them that there was not a threat and what the process was going to look like after.
Okay.
And the last thing we want to do is to have to arrest parents out there on the scene. We know that people are nervous, upset, and scared. They want to know concerning the kid. But the problem is we do sometimes get parents that do get a little bit disruptive and unruly out there when you're trying to give them the proper
did that happen
instructions.
yesterday?
There were some that was getting to that point, and I try to tell my officers we have to deal with them soft and all, because our goals and our intention is not to have to arrest parents and not to have to take any parents to jail on that notion. But we do have a responsibility to try to keep things in a safe and an orderly way so that everybody, that's including the school district, can do their job, because we come on site to really assist the school district, to kind of assist them so that they can get things settled down and calm down so that they can do what they need to do.
And there were no arrests from
No arrests, man.
And last question that I have for you is the protocols once you received the information that 911 call had been made. What were the protocols that went into effect inside the school?
Well, the school goes on to lockdown. So the school goes on to lockdown. We form teams and we go in and we sweep the school.
So all of the students and staff are locked in the rooms?
And yes. Okay. So they know the procedures to take because we train with them all the time. So they know what to do in the event of a lockdown.
So from the time of the call to and counting the response, and from the time of the call to the all clear, how long was that?
Because, like I said, because this came through, 911. So once we get when 911 get the call, they dispatches it immediately to the police officers. So our officers immediately respond. Right. And while we were responding, trying to get there, we were in the process trying to get in contact with Chief Brown and someone in the school to try to confirm whether it was an actual shooting or not. And like I said, myself personally, I was at home and my walkie was on and I was listening to it. And when I heard it, of course, I had to go running out of the house, trying to get there to the school. But before I got there, by the time I got out the house, before I got there, probably less than 5 minutes or so, it was confirmed that it was not a real active shooter. Now, I think our law enforcement guys got on scene within minutes. Yes. Probably within minutes of it being put out there. They were on scene, and they were, everybody was responding to it. So,
well, I guess when was the lockdown lifted?
Once we cleared the building, I gave instruction for the lockdown to be lifted, and then the school was turned back over to the principal, and they can resume normal activities and give instruction.
So, is it around noon, 12:30?
It was before noon.
It was before noon?
It was before noon.
Let me say this, because when you have multiple agencies responded, just like the incident in Texas, there was confusion even out of who's in control, who's making the charge. CMSD have their own in-house police department, which is Chief Brown. So it's their campus, their police department. So, they're the ones that's in control of this, and we come in to assist them and to aid them in whatever we need to do when we have these incidents going on.
What could the person be charged with if y'all, regardless of where they are, I guess if they're in the United States, what could they be charged with if they're apprehended?
Well, we're teetering on whether terrorism, federally they can be charged with terrorism. We know when you deal with bomb threats, it can be charged terrorism. So the guidelines of whether they can be charged with terrorism on the federal level, that's up to federal courts and federal judges. But there are. It is a criminal offense, and it is a felony criminal offense. Exactly what all they can be charged with, it's a whole list and a whole continuum of charges. So, but it is a serious and it is a felony offense, which could cause jail time, serious jail time.
You mentioned to me, Chief, that this happened in some other cities the same day.
Yeah. This is happening. I know I had a report specifically South Haven. They received a report this same day that I haven't confirmed some of the other ones that I've heard, but I know for a fact that South Haven received some. But like I said earlier, this has been going on through September, through a while, throughout our country, throughout different states and different cities. People have been calling in. Like I said, it's taken on the term called swatting, because they're calling out when police call out, whether they're calling out their tactical teams, their SWAT teams, and we got to understand that just by calling out all these units can have some serious problems and some serious issues.
Well, and that leads me to, and I promise I'll stop after this. This swatting is crying wolf. You know, using the old nursery rhyme term, but how hard is it for you guys to maintain the intensity for your response teams if, you know, this swatting is going on and they're not sure whether it is that or whether it's real? I mean, how do you keep your responders' intensity up for treating them all like they're real when there's a high likelihood that it won't be?
Yeah, and that could become a big issue. But hopefully that's something, and like I said earlier, that's something that we have to drill into our officers, to be that every incident that this happens, we have to take it serious, take it as it is, and respond in the same way, and not get complacent, not get relaxed, and well, it happened this and this and this. Until we confirm that it's false, we're going to respond with full force and with everything that we can bring, you know, to make sure that we're covered and we're keeping our kids safe and our community safe. But that's a mentality that we ourselves as police officers have to not allow ourselves. It's like when we deal with police officers, sometimes we get the burglar alarm goes off. I mean, the same business every night. So you can't get relaxed going up in there, because that very time you get relaxed, it might be real. It might be real. So we have to stay on our toes, you know, stay involved and according to our training, and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Go ahead. Ladies first. You go.
Chief Brown, you know, a couple of weeks ago, the school faced a similar situation. It wasn't a 911 call, it was a social media post. Has the school police department have put in place any other more resource officers? Is there any other things that are put in place? Because we are seeing these hoax or SWATings or social media posts are becoming more current. Is there amped up security now?
Anytime measures, things like that happen, we amp up security. We look at what we're doing, see how we can do things better. So you're always reevaluating everything and looking at measures you can take to ensure that your students and your staff are safe. So yes.
You did speak about the students knowing protocols and the staff knowing protocols, and you all are in communication throughout the department, the police department on campus. Talk to me about correspondence happening with the parents. Does that come from the school? Is this happening in real time to prevent parents from having, you know, emotional breakdowns in front of the school?
Yes. So the school sends out blasts. I know that they have social media platforms as well, and I think that they're using social media to keep the parents informed on what's going on. So as much as it's feasible for them to get that information out, they're doing that.
Okay. And do you know if this happening in real time, or is it happening before and after?
I want to say it's happening in real time and also before.
Okay.
So, you know, they have meetings with parents, and they're always trying to keep them abreast of what the policies and what the procedures are for the school district. They've done district tours that they've discussed safety plans and things with parents, and just trying to keep them abreast on what's going on. And doing better with communication, getting that information out there to them so they'll know what to do in the event of an emergency.
And Chief Johnson, I know you stated that swatting is becoming a national problem, and I know that 911 calls can't be screened, and you all respond just as fast each time. Talk to me a little bit about any protocols that are being put in place to respond to this. Well, or is it same as usual?
I mean, it's as usual. I mean, like I said, when the call comes out and it's dispatched through 911, and the call comes out right through 911, our officers are trained, and it's their job to respond as if it's an actual event that's going on. And that's the way we will respond, you know, until we know for sure that it is false, that it's not real. We will continue to respond. like it's real. We're going to continue to come in full force, ready to protect our kids and our citizens. And until we can make that contact with the school district or someone in there, Chief Brown, to inform us that it's not real. We work closely together as a team, and we look forward to even being able to work closer together, and even more as opposed to the police department and what we can do to help ensure the safety of our children in our school district that are in our city, that are in our town, even to the point of, helping with enforcement, helping with personnel as far as, police officers being a part of the school and being in the school district along with the school district police department so that we can make sure our children are safe. That's our main and number one priority. The children and staff are safe.
Okay, and last question, Chief Brown. You stated, I heard that someone passed out. Was there any injuries yesterday from the anxiety or the alarmness of what happened?
No injuries.
Okay.
Last question I've got is, Chief Brown, if students hear something, or how do they report things anonymously if they hear something like that? What's in place for that?
They have an app that they can use to report, and also they can report it anonymous to a staff. There's ways that they can report. They have technology via email that they can report also.
Has that been used in the past?
It has, yes, sir.
Does it help?
It has.
That's all I've got. Any other? Well, thank y'all very much.
Thank you all. Thank everybody for tuning in.